Well, hello everybody. Welcome to an impromptu recording. It's not going to be the full hour of this because I've got to get an airport shuttle in 45 minutes. So we're going to do a quick 30, 40 minutes. I'll give you a good catch up because I'm going to miss tonight's show because I'm flying, basically. I'm currently still in Jordan and I'm leaving this morning. And we have had an amazing time in this country. Oh my God, the cinema stuff. Cinematography wise, I've never seen a place like it. It's just the over here, over here, over here. I've been everywhere. But I have captured everything on my journey. So I am going to put together, it'll be at least three 30, 40-minute episodes. Now, I've made contact with the Jordanian government and they love what I was doing. I was very surprised by the reaction. They're like, okay, it's just me and goofing around. Like, no, your stuff very professional. We love. So, oops. So they're going to give me the official drone footage. So I'm going to add their drone footage with my ground footage and I'll put together something spectacular. But it's going to take me, yeah, a couple of weeks to do one of those. Well, all of those. So don't be in a rush. But I am going to release certain behind the scenes and some other bits and pieces so you can see what I've been doing. I've had a phenomenal time. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Only because I've been stimulated on so many levels, intellectually, spiritually, and also very challenging on the work front as well. Because when I get into these locations, I'm in full work mode. So I'm going, okay, where can we put the camera? Where's the light? What's the best scene? How can I share the beauty of what I'm looking at with the world? And I miss a lot of the connection on the spiritual level, which is why I say to I figured this out recently. This is why I keep saying to myself, okay, I know I'm going to come back, but I don't know when. And that's it. I always go back to these ancient places. Once I go once and I do all of the spiritual, all of the cinematographic work, I'll then go back and do the spiritual, which is okay because usually I like to go with someone else that's spiritual with me because it's not much fun doing it alone, you know? So, in case you're wondering, I've got a bracelet that a man gave me. Now, I never wear adornments of jewelry, but these are these sacred stones and they're kind of a purple that change color in light. You won't be able to see it on here, but it's so comfortable. It's the most comfortable thing I've ever had on my wrist. So let's see how long I keep it and before it falls off or disintegrates. But for the time being, yeah, you might think that's a bit weird, but it was a gift and I'm very grateful. Um, this is Petra behind me, by the way, which we were 2 days filming there, which is spectacular. So, Mahoney, let's talk about what you've been doing. We started in Egypt because my son, who I never put on camera, I never really talk about where he is, what he's doing. I'm very careful about protecting my loved ones. Although he's a man, he's not a young kid. Was in Egypt with his pals on a bit of a holiday. Now, my son moves around from country to country, city to city. He's never in one city more than a month. He's a nomad, digital nomad. He works from his laptop. He's doing great. And he was there with his pals. And this is where the coincidence starts, you see, because they said to me, I had a download saying, Mahoney, you've got to get, where's my coin here? You've got to get to Egypt by the 14th, somewhere between the 13 and 17. You need to be in Egypt. And I was like, again, back to Egypt? For what? I said, you need to go back there because we need you to ground in some transference of energy. And you need to take your sacred Egyptian object with you. I was like, oh. And when they say that, they mean this. This is my silver Anubis coin. Let's see if you can see it properly. And it's 999 grams of solid silver. It's from Chad in Africa. And for those that don't know, Anubis is the guardian of the underworld. He escorts the souls through the afterlife, and you have to weigh their heart. If your heart weighs is the same as a feather, then you're allowed to enter the underworld, the Egyptian underworld, that is. So they said you have to bring that with you, which obviously I have. Then I got the download about Hades. Now, Hades is the Greek um, afterlife, and they have a legend of paying the ferryman. They said, you need to bring that coin in case you need to pay the ferryman because we're not sure where this energy is going, whether it's going to be Egyptian or Greek, which is why I'm in both places. Yeah. So I said, okay. And then my son said to me, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to be in Egypt in mid-December. Why don't you come over? Let's have a little bit of an adventure. We'll spend a couple of days in Egypt. Then we'll go north. We'll take the ferry from Egypt to Jordan and go do Petra and all of the sites in Jordan." I was like, this is how the divine works. It puts you there and it gives you a reason and it manipulates all of the energy so you're going to be there. It's really funny. And I did start cracking up laughing. I was like, yeah, great. So my son's extremely adventurous. He doesn't give a damn about anything. He's been everywhere, literally everywhere. You name it, he's probably been there. There's more countries than I have. But he's not very tuned in. He's getting there slowly. I have to be very gentle with him so he doesn't get freaked out. So I said yes. Now, when I got to Egypt, I'm just going back into the energy, how I was feeling. I tuned in and I anchored in the energy. So basically, I've left a vortex of energy back in Egypt with a coin. Obviously, I didn't leave the real one. I mean, I should have, but I didn't know where to put it. I was thinking about just tossing it into the desert. But I've anchored in the energy, should it be needed for this mission. I can't tell you what the energy is about because it's a transference of a soul, basically. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that, but I anchored in a gateway and a pathway and a welcoming, energetic committee for a very important soul that they told me was going to be transferred back to Egypt and or Greece because it wasn't the right circumstances for that soul to be brought back into reality. So it was kind of a trick. Something happened. There was a bit of dark energy. There was a big trick. And they said, no, we can't allow that. So we're going to do this. And they said I had to go. So I did. So I don't know more than that for the time being. I have a few theories. I have a few feelings, but these are just intuitive feelings. And I'll wait for Divine to reveal the real story, as usually he does to me, or it does, or she does, whoever Divine is, male, female, who knows? It's a mystery, isn't it? So that's Egypt. So we left Egypt and then we traveled up by taxi, a couple of hours to the ferry port. Ferry port was really chaotic. It was very funny, actually. Allah, la, la, imshi, 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 yalla, yalla. Come on, come on. So we got on the boat like 3 hours early and it left an hour early and very chaotic. But baggage handlers were angry because you don't tip them enough. You only give them $5, which is a lot in Egypt, but they want 10, of course. So there was an American girl who's traveling around and a Canadian guy who's traveling around, and they were arguing. I was just like, give them $5 each, and let's get out of it. You know what? I don't care, $5. So we crossed into Jordan um, smoothly through customs and passport stamps. And they have something called a Jordan Pass, which is an electronic pass that gets you into all of the attractions in Jordan. You pay one price and you show it, they scan it, and in you go, which actually is a great time save. I think it was about $50, $60 for everything. But we went into Petra twice, 2 days in a row. And then we're at some other locations as well. And Wadi Rum was where we were first, that huge, immense natural park, national park. Um, and then we came up to the capital, Amman, and we visited yesterday an amazing Roman site, which has been on my list. And I filmed in there because I love Roman stuff. And the energy in there was really busy, busy, busy. See, a lot of the places I'll go into, the energy changes. It's different. It's different. And a lot of the temples I visited when I was in Southeast Asia and Cambodia specifically, there wasn't much for me to tune into. It's just all namaste, very peaceful, you know. But these places where there's been battles and wars and fighting, it's a lot more interesting energetically for me. I can really pick up on that, and I like it. I'm like, ooh, this is good. So yesterday, I'm going to show you a couple of clips of where we were yesterday. I'll show you two or three things, just to keep you teasing, keep your interest about what we're doing. And yeah, yesterday's energy was really good because it was really busy. It was like chaotic and hectic in a city and buying and selling and hustling and running around. I didn't feel any sadness. There was nothing like, poor me, my family is sick, I don't have any money, can you help me? It was all hustling energy, people being busy. Hope was there a lot. So great in Spanish, hope is esperanza. It's actually a name as well. You might have met somebody called Esperanza, but that's hope. And it's a really powerful emotion, hope, because it gives you hope. There's always tomorrow. You can wake up tomorrow and start again. Every day is scratching yesterday, and we're going to focus on today and let's see what today brings. So hope was there. That was an energetic. And the city's called Jarash. And I tell a very interesting story there because it's actually mentioned in the Bible, this city. It's called Jerash with a G. These days it's spelled with a J, but it's the same place. And it's in the New Testament. I recorded my little thing about that. You know what? It's actually in the video, so I'll leave it in the video and I'll play it, yeah, rather than tell the story. So that was it. It's now time to go home. It's December 23rd. I've got a busy couple of days for Christmas. I bet everybody else does too. I won't be the only one. Um, and I'm ready to go home, but in a sad way. I mean, I'm looking out the window now, and it's a beautiful country. I didn't realize there's 5.5 million people living in the capital, Amman. It's huge. It just stretches out in front of me, all the way over there. It's enormous, and the people are very nice. English is widely spoken. They're very curious. There's a mixture of Christians and Muslims. But here's the thing, I've said this quite a few times online about Islamic and Muslim countries. When you come to these countries, they're not like the Muslims that you'll meet back in your country. They're warm and friendly, relaxed because they're surrounded by the family members. They're curious about you. Where are you from? Oh, very nice, very nice. But people ask me where I'm from. Where am I from? Born in the UK, grew up in Ireland, been living in Spain 30 years. Who am I? But the stuff that they saw, because to get to be able people to relax to be filming, you got to show them what you're doing. They're like, oh my god, so the first tour guide we got was a guy called Mamoun, and Mamoun just happened to be the author of a book. Right now, this book has shaken up the entire archaeological theories about Petra because he's proved where one place they said was a sacrificial altar was actually a sundial and a water clock, so they could use the water at night time to monitor how many hours of daylight there were. They were monitoring the stars. These these ancient inhabitants of Petra. He's written this book, and he's met the king of Jordan. They're about to change the entire scientific community. And at the side of Jordan, if I go like this and down here, well, I can't even do it. At the down there, there's a sign, and it's taken directly from Mamun's book. Amazing guy. I had lucky, so privileged to have 2 days with him, and I learned so much. And I'm going to read his book. We're going to put a link in there when we do all of the info about Petra. So you cannot believe how advanced the civilization was. This is 2,500 years ago. They had water clocks, astronomy, studying the stars. And it was the main hub from all of what you've seen in the films, the camel trains coming from China with all of the silks right across the Silk Route, Marco Polo stuff. They'd get to this area, and Petra was one of the main cities they'd stop on the route. And they'd eventually get back up to Damascus, which is in Syria. So they'd come across the desert. It'd take them a year with hundreds of camels and packed, you know, all the goods, the silks and spices, and then vice versa going back, it would be frankincense and myrrh and gold, and all of these things from gold from Sudan would go back east. So it was on the trade chain, and an incredibly important place on that. And what happened is basically the Romans then decided to force the trade to go somewhere else, which is another city where I was yesterday, Jerash. They kind of moved it all. Then there was a few earthquakes, and then Islam invaded, and they started sending everything by sea instead of by land. And it eventually just faded into misuse, the whole city. But for at least 3, 4 thousand years, it was thriving and busy. And the incredible cave uh, carvings that they've done on the rock faces, The one that you can see behind me, this is called the Treasury. But there's another building a few kilometers further up the mountainous gorge called the Monastery, which I found more impressive because it was basically more elaborately carved than this. In my opinion, they're both stunning. You'll know this one behind me from Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, which is where the Canyon of the Crescent Moon scene was shot, and then he finally goes inside here and finds the ancient knight from 700 years that's been guarding the Grail of Christ in there. So you've probably seen the film, but they used it. They used it in the opening shot, and I recreated the opening shot in our footage so you can see. I actually walked down there and we filmed there. How are we doing on time? So it was all in all an amazing journey. And the episodes of what I'm going to broadcast and edit together are going to be amazing. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me actually, because you know, I get overwhelmed with a lot of the stuff that I see. Like, oh, it's just so stunningly beautiful. So if you're thinking about coming to this part of the world, the main underlying energy and voice here is that the tourists are not coming. They're all freaked out about this war in Israel, which is just here. We could see the Israeli border as we were driving around um, by the Dead Sea. Oh, that was an experience. I'll go back to that. Um, but there's no violence. There is no threat to being in Jordan. Jordan and Israel and all these other countries that are against Israel have got no problem with Jordan. It's safe. It's friendly. It's an amazing place, and being put off by what you're seeing on the media is ridiculous because come here. It is beautiful. People are lovely. Food's great. We were cooked a meal yesterday in this woman's house, and it's the best food we had all week. And they laid out so much. We had chicken, we had lamb, we had um amazing salads, pomegranates, and I was like, oh, I felt embarrassed. I said, we're not going to. But my son is a big, he's skinny, but he's a huge. I was like, where are you putting all that food? So, the Dead Sea, here's a weird thing about that. If you've been, you'll understand it, but if you haven't, like I had some expectations of what it was. So we left Petra and we went to an ancient castle called Carrick Castle, which is incredibly important. Carrick Castle, 1183 and 1184, was besieged by Saladin, who was trying to push out the Crusades from the Middle East and Jerusalem. He eventually did. And that was Carrick Castle was a stronghold, so I've always wanted to go there. It's on the Crusaders Trail, which somehow I don't feel particularly too energetically connected to the Crusades. I'm interested in it, but do I feel I had a past life and I was involved in that? No, actually, I don't. That whole medieval period is kind of not my thing. I like it, and King Arthur stuff. It doesn't grab me. Everyone's talking about, oh, the King Arthur energy of what's it called? What's that town called? Where they Salisbury, is it? No, Glastonbury. I've been to Glastonbury several times. I didn't particularly feel anything wow about it. It was just, yeah. And I made a deliberate point of not climbing the Thor or the Tor. Well, there's a little tower at the top. Everybody says you got to climb it, you got to climb it. I was like, no, I don't feel like climbing it, so I never did. Anyway, King Arthur, Crusaders, Knights Templar, not really too much energetically linked to me. Maybe the Knights Templar, but from a different angle. Not that I was a knight. There's something there about the Knights Templar and connected to Malta that I still have to investigate. But it's only because I'm from a different angle. I don't feel I was one of these guys in a incarnation. So I'm being honest. Very easy to say, oh yeah, I was him. Yeah, yeah. And I was Julius Caesar. Yeah, yeah, and Cleopatra too. That was yeah, yeah. The current woman that works down the burger van, she was Cleopatra with me in my past life. How many of these freaks have you met? How many people have claimed to be Cleopatra in a past life? I must have met at least six spiritual women on my journey over the last 30 years and said, yeah, it's Cleopatra. I'm thinking, you can't all be Cleopatra. And one of the questions I asked, I said, well, next time you tune in, look at your feet. What are you wearing on your feet? Nothing, exactly. You're probably part of Cleopatra's court, but if you were Cleopatra, you would have shoes on, wouldn't you? Yeah, I never thought of that. So, a lot of people always jumping on the bandwagon trying to claim ancient famous identities so they can jump up the ratings and rankings, but being truthful about what you feel is more important than ratings and rankings. If I was to focus on how many views I was getting, I don't care how many views I'm getting. I do this because I'm passionate about it and I'm driven by spirit to do these things. It's not, I can't control it anymore. He's like, yeah, come on, come on. Anyway, let's go back to the Dead Sea. We get to the Dead Sea and we go down to the beach. I had to buy some shorts because I actually forgot my swimming stuff, and the guy said these will fit you. And my God, it was I needed a crowbar to get into them, but it was only for a few minutes just to go for a swim. And here's the weird thing: you go in the water, the water's nice to temperature, but not a gust of wind. It was like a flat pond, right? And as soon as you go in, your legs just go, whoop, you're on your back because literally it's like having life jackets or floating devices attached to your entire body. You just go wah straight up like that. I was going, oh, what's that? Oh, and I'm trying to get over, turn myself over on my stomach. And when you do go on your stomach, the buoyancy bends your entire spinal column and pushes your legs up out of the water. And yeah, it's like sitting on a floaty. So then I noticed that just a quick little paddle, the speed I was getting from breaststroking, because you can't really kick your legs very deep because they just keep getting pushed back up, you know? So it's just this on the surface. I was shooting around, but you can't swim because of the curvature of your back and your head's like this and your back's like that. It's painful to swim. So you have to turn back over on your stomach, on your back rather, and just float and bob around. You could read a book quite comfortably, just sitting there, laying there in the water. Now I tasted it, and it tastes crazy chemical salt. Like, got to get it out, you know. And then I accidentally got some in my eye, and there's a lifeguard there with the fresh water, and he comes kind of briskly walking over, saying, "Oh, let me help you rinse in my eye because it just burns your eyes. You can't put it on your in your eyes." And then they have the clay, the Dead Sea clay. So we lathered ourselves up in all of this clay. Yeah. Spa day for the boys. Get that down a bit. And yeah, it's kind of we were supposed to let it dry more because there's a place in Spain they do that with clay, and I know. So you put it on your face and here. So I've got a few pictures and things like that. Um, actually, I'll show you that as well. Funny if I can find that. And then yeah, the Dead Sea, we went back in and rinsed it off and washed it off and had some lunch. But it's a strange experience, that Dead Sea floating so much like that. It's bizarre. And because the water's so warm, it doesn't cool you off. So I'm feeling that this time of year was the perfect time of year because in the summer that water would not, it would be warmer, the water would not cool you off. You couldn't use the Dead Sea as a beachside location for your vacation and expect to cool off in the water there. You couldn't do it. It's just too warm. But myself and my son were absolutely cracking up laughing. He giggles a lot and he laughs, but when he really laughs, he goes red, he goes pink, and I could see his face going pink there. He was crying, laughing. We both were because we were just thrashing around like toddlers at the beach. You know, you couldn't get your footing, like oh God, and the water's bobbing you around. It's bizarre. I'm sure some of you have been there and experienced it, but I hadn't before. But I'm very pleased and privileged I have today. So let's show you a few videos of what I've been up to. I'm going to prep them now. Who did I send them to now? Okay, this one. Let me just bring it up, open it up, see if it opens. This is the end scene for the video I'm going to be using for Petra. I'm planning on using this as the very last scene because I always like to do a walkout. Okay. So I shouldn't really share this with you, but you're a very special group to me and I'll share it with you. QuickTime player here. That one. Now, one take. I did not pay. You'll see what happens at the end. I'll tell you what happens at the end. Okay. So let me put it on mute.
Well, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye to this beautiful ruined city of Petra. Now, I've been to some of the world's top historical archaeological places. Petra has got to be in the top 3. I always get connected to these ancient places somehow. I can feel it inside my soul. So I don't know when I'm going to be back here, but I do know I'll be back one day. I just don't know when that day will be.
Did you like that? Pretty cool, huh? That's the end scene. I'm going to leave on because I'm going to do an episode. I think Petra will be about 35, 40 minutes, actually, maybe 45. But yeah, I've already put up the video for Wadi Rum when I was in the desert on that one. You'll have to go back to YouTube and have a look at it if you've missed it. And then what else did I do? I did yesterday we went to Jarash Castle, and I've just saved the little video I put together, and I'm going to send that to yeah, I could do that, couldn't I? Yeah, it's downloading now on AirDrop, and we'll play that one as well. It's already nearly halfway there. We'll wait another few seconds. Bear with me, guys. It's coming up to load it. Options, open. Okay, great. I'll make that bigger and we'll go back in and play this. Coolio. So Jarash is a Roman city that goes back actually around 7,000 years. Now, don't forget, Damascus is the longest populated city on Earth that they found archaeological evidence to back it up. And that's only about an hour and 20 minutes north of here. So this city, Jarash, goes back to around 7,500 years BC. So it's around 8, 9, 10,000 years old. They've found archaeological evidence. It's incredible. And a huge, it's 800,000 square meters that they haven't even excavated 15%, 20%. There's still a lot more to go. So it's absolutely stunning. And I'll show you a video. Is this it? No, it's this. There we go. I'm going to put it on quiet and there are some people here today, so trying to stay away from other people's energies that interfere with what I'm picking up is a little challenging, but I'm getting there now. It's buzzing with energy from people and livelihoods and just high energy. People being busy. That's what I'm picking up here. No sadness, too busy to be sad. This is the first time I've picked up something like that.
too busy to be sad.
Ending on the amphitheater. There's actually two amphitheaters in that Roman city. Stunningly beautiful. I needed more time there actually, but again, I'll go back. Now, I was doing a lot of clearing there. There were some souls that were floating around. So you can see me do my sweeping thing with my hands, or sweep it all forward. I've explained about that before, but not too much. It wasn't terrible. It was enjoyable that. So what else after that? Then this is just me playing around, but it turned out to be such a good shot. I called this the hero shot, where I sent this to my old friend, Shan, the girl that I did the perimenopause medication with. And I said, she says, "You're very quiet. Where are you?" That's not it. I think I've sent her that already, did I? Yeah, this one. This one is what I want to do. This is a good one. This is the story I was telling you about. So we'll play out with this, guys, because I've got to get to the airport. But is it this one? Yeah, I think it is. Yes. We'll play out with this. I'll come back and say goodbye, and then I'm going to put this on YouTube, send everybody the link, so you've at least got something to watch tonight, because I'm flying and I won't make it back in time. So I'll come back in a second. Have a look at this. This is like hero stuff, I call this.
Possible for me to document the entire city. It's so vast. But there is a story that I like that I wanted to relate to you while I'm here. And this is a story about Jesus. Now, in the New Testament, there's a famous part, and the story relates like this. Jesus was in this area, in this city, in this district. It was pronounced slightly differently and spelled slightly differently. But the story goes that Jesus encountered a man that was possessed by a demon. And Jesus cast out this demonic attachment, and he threw it into a herd of pigs. And the pigs then fled the city, and they forced themselves down to the Sea of Galilee and drowned themselves. It's a very famous story. It's often related about demonic attachments and how they can get into people and absolutely ruin your lives. So right here in this historic place, that's where this happened. So we really are walking in the footsteps of Jesus.
That was just a quick one again, just to share some of the amazing footage that we've taken. Raw footage. I haven't done what I need to do. It needs to be colored and chopped, but you get the idea. Hero shot at the end. I love those ones. I discovered that in Egypt my first time. Just panning the camera around so you can show the camera what you're looking at. It works so well on these dramatic backdrops, and cinematography wise, it's amazing. So guys, I've had a super boost of energy. I've so blessed with the things that happen in my life and how things have manipulated from the divine to get me in the places where I'm supposed to be. And I'm loving sharing all of this with you. My spiritual journey continues. It's just getting stronger every day. I'm becoming more and more confident. I know exactly what I have to do now, but I do have to find one other person that I need to help me on this journey. And it's a female. I haven't met this person yet, but I've been shown images. I don't know what they look like, but I've been shown images of what we do. And it's about taking people from their darkness and bringing them back into their light. Is basically what I've been told I have to do. And I do it very cleverly with my words and vocalizing and the gift of blarney that they left me from my old Irish days. So I'm absolutely laying myself in the hands of spirit and saying, okay, use me. Here I am. You know my skills and talents. You know my personality traits. You know my confidence levels. You know I have no fear of anything. Just show me what I'm supposed to do, and I will perform like a circus monkey. Guys, I got to get going. I hope you've enjoyed this quick and short chat, and shorter than normal, and some of the clips I've shown you. It's been an absolutely amazing week for me. Extremely memorable. Different energetically to Egypt. Egypt was amazing in its own way. Jordan's been also amazing in its own way. I was a different person in Egypt, and I wasn't as tuned in. I thought I was, but I wasn't. Looking back to what I know now, to what I knew then, different person. But you're going to be joining me along the way, and I know that if you're viewing this and enjoying it, then I know that you are a special type of brand, a breed, a special type of soul, because here you are interested in what I've been doing and what I've been showing. I know that the stuff that I've been talking about resonates deep within you. And as we get further into our journeys together, you learn as I learn, as we both hold our hands across these vast distances that the internet breaks down. And as we both go on our journey together, you'll find your way as I'm finding mine. And I love that. It's great, isn't it? So, guys, with that being said, I hope you have an amazing Christmas with your family, loved ones, and friends. Stay in that high vibrational light. I can feel it now. I'm laughing and giggling already because I know Christmas is coming, and I feel your energy through this link. Actually, I had just that moment then, sudden burst of really positive, giggly, laughy, loving energy. Um, have a great Christmas, whatever you're doing. I'll see you back on Boxing Day, 26th. There's another broadcast day. I will be broadcasting on that day. And I look forward to sharing more adventures and stories and updates as my soul continuously gets downloads and updates and more information. I keep being guided to share to help you on this amazing journey that you're embarking on, that you're already on. It's not a decision. You've already packed your suitcase. You're already on your way. So you just have to enjoy the journey and know your destination. Happy Christmas to everybody. And it's been an amazing 2025, but I know 2026 is just going to get absolutely out of control on this sort of stuff for me. And you're going to have so much fun joining me with it, okay? 2026 is the year of the horse. It's going to be moving really, really fast. And that's exactly what suits me. Happy Christmas, guys. With all my heart and soul and much love, I will see you very, very soon. Have a great one. Bye bye.